Hi, hello, and good evening. It is August 19th, and we are finally catching up with Claim to Fame. So much has happened since the last time we all chatted about it. So there really isn't much time to waste, right? Let's just get right into it. Did that skip for
What just
anybody
happened?
else?
Yeah,
There's
you
like a final,
froze, but I don't know what happened.
There's probably me. I'm probably the reason why that happened. And with that, I am Kyle Petty,
God.
and I am joined as always by my bestie besties John Dunphy and Gina Regino. This is Strat Chat. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod, and you can find all our little links and things in our bio, courtesy of Linktree. Um, so claim to fame. The last time we were all together, where were we? We had Monet convincing Gabriel, right, to pull her clue, really trying to control the information, make sure she knew where her clue was going, and blah, 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 blah. Much to discuss certainly around that, like whether or not we thought this was a good game move. We saw our celebrity relatives playing telephone, which turned out to be a very sordid little game.
That feels like years ago. I'm like, what
right,
happened?
doesn't it? That's why I was like, I do need to watch this recap because I had no idea. Chris is also this is when he first presented the deal to Gabe, like sharing clue for clue. And that's when that little alliance kind of began. And then we saw Cole eliminated by the Lady Carson by disclosing his relation to Miss Alicia Keys. So this episode really started with everybody really doubling down on thinking that Chris is related to Jim Carrey.
There is so much to get into with Chris tonight. I'm so excited to talk about it. I have not stopped laughing about this for days, for weeks.
I think it's hysterical how
it's incredible
because they're also just blatantly ignoring certain clues, and it's it's one thing for you to not know, but it's a whole different thing presented to you.
Right.
Yeah. So what are some of the clues that are around Chris right now? Since we're on it, like we don't have to go in any kind of order. Anybody who's listening to us already
like at this point or by this episode we're talking about?
No, at least at this point, who cares? Like if you're listening, you already know what's up. So
right.
So we have the puppy love teen idol in the 70s picture clue.
Right. With the 7 T's. Very cute. Very cute.
We've seen that his celebrity relative had a Vegas residency. That he's a singer.
From Utah, so obviously
from Utah.
obviously.
Yep, amazing
colorful coats.
Amazing colored dream coat. They never said Technicolor, but they did say dream coat.
Right. Why is
from
no
Utah
one thinking of that? Exactly. The Utah thing is what really gets me. So of course we're going to
Utah is what we really have to dive into because that's the best part of this whole thing.
But what was funny to me is that Gabriel actually said, "What about that guy Joseph from the Bible?" And Chris is so lucky that nobody in there is like a theater person.
Everyone I actually wonder in there's like, ha ha ha! Oh, Gabriel, you're so funny. And I'm sitting on my couch screaming at the TV, like, no, he finally got one. He finally got one. Please.
But he doesn't know that he got one. Like he is taking that literally from the Bible.
It was killing me.
I wonder if like somebody like Jane was still in there, if with these clues, she would have figured this out by now. I feel like
I think she might have kind of been the only hope because I don't know if they're just too young to know or if it's like a little too niche. I don't know. I feel like Jane's the only one that maybe had a shot here. Yeah. I don't know what these kids are doing.
I feel like if anybody else had just a smidge more knowledge, they would have been able to build off of what Gabriel said. I mean, like he said it.
Right.
Is it that niche?
No.
Like
No.
I'm watching this as a theater
Yeah.
person. I'm watching this as somebody who knows that musical very well. Am I just like the target audience? Would the average person not know that? Like
No.
I'm trying
You
so hard to
should
give
know
these
that.
people some grace because it's so much easier for me to give them grace and say no, it's a niche thing than to accept the fact that these guesses are these guesses.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big musical, right? It's Andrew Lloyd Webber, right? It's like it's a big name. You know, I feel like his works are really well known. But I feel like
But it is a story from the Bible. Like it's not that's like, I mean, come on, it's not niche at all. Like
yeah. Do you
it's
think
from the
like
most popular book ever written.
Like,
Yes, but would they know that there was it's not
A
knowing the
musical, yeah.
Bible, it's knowing the musical.
But it's not just knowing the musical, because like the musical is I mean, there is a source work here. Like,
Right,
you don't
right.
know you don't need to know the musical to still know that. Like my mother, Reverend Lee, certainly knew exactly what time it was, you know. No.
I I don't know. It's very funny. Do you think because like there's obviously some really big names of the celebrities that have their relatives are in this house, like Tom Hanks and Lil Nas X and Alicia Keys and all that. Like, do you think that you would be offended if you were in there, like, and nobody could figure out who your celebrity claim to fame is? Does it mean that like yours is lame or something? Like I would get Donnie.
No, because it means that mine is gonna win me a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I don't care how lame you think I am if I walked out of here with 100,000.
Like, not that Donny Osmond isn't a big name, but it's just funny because, like, I don't know, nobody has
It's
any
also
idea.
just like it's so funny because yeah, all of the clues are obvious and yeah, they're missing key components of some of these clues, which we are going to get into. But like he's also just walking around with his dad's face. His whole face.
I know.
I really don't.
It
get
really
it.
is. It really is so bad though. Like the second that you find out the person's from Utah, how do you go to? Oh yeah, everybody knows Utah's favorite son, Elton John.
Elton John
So what
and
are
Billy
you
Idol,
talking
my
about?
two favorite musicians from Utah.
You know, like I don't. I really don't get it. I don't.
It was-
It's
but, like,
so
what-
sad.
What killed me about Elton John too was you see Hugo in like their version of the DR being like, I want everyone to know, yeah, Elton John was me. I came up with Elton John. That was me. I did that. I was like, baby, you don't want us to remember that.
Right. You don't want to be so proud of this.
You don't
Like,
want to take credit for that one, honey.
I get what you're doing here, because if it was correct, yeah, like obviously, yes, that's a couple of points in your column. But, like if you're wrong, that's how embarrassing. Like
oh god,
I
and he
don't
was
think
so
I'd ever
like,
be in any situation to be doubling down on anyone if I was in this game. Like I wouldn't want to bring that much attention to the fact that I knew, just in case I'm wrong. You
he
know?
was also just so smug when he said, I think your celebrity relative is Elton John. And it's like,
That grin.
like it like burns
know,
up the film and it's like, oh well, you feel like an idiot now.
It totally broke my heart though, because Hugo is a hottie for sure. So I certainly
Which
didn't
can-
want to see him go out like that.
Are we all aware of the relationship that has happened after this game? Do we all know about this? Do we
No.
not?
No,
Hugo and Olivia are now dating.
Oh wow.
disgusting. This is after she lies to him right on the balcony.
Oh,
Right?
lied right to his face.
Yeah, I think that was actually in episode 7, but she had said, "Oh yeah, I'm related to Carrot Top," and I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Why would you say that? Why would you say that?" I'm like, "Who just flat out just tells somebody who they're
No,
related to?" Like,
to be
unless it's a
so
lie,
fair, like,
of course.
To be so fair, if the way she got eliminated was the only way she was ever going to get eliminated. Nobody was ever going to figure that one out.
No,
Yeah.
but I was so sick of looking at her. I don't like her face makeup, that ridiculous thing that she does with her eyes. I was
no.
like, get the fuck out of here. I was
I
so
like
sick
her,
of her.
and they're so funny on TikTok, the two of them.
What,
I feel like
Hugo
we
and
just-
Olivia?
Yes.
All right,
I feel
we'll
like
keep on TikTok, and I'll stay off
Yeah.
that platform for as long as I can.
But clearly,
'Cause I
I'm
don't
the
get
only
it.
one that's checking them out on TikTok. All right, I get it.
Right, I guess.
I just
so.
feel like we didn't like get anything from Olivia. Like she didn't like. I feel like if anybody in there, she did like the absolute least, which maybe was part of her strategy, but like it's not very
Maybe.
memorable.
What
I
is
mean,
that?
those
What is
clues
the
were
blue
not
that comes down
helpful.
here? What is that? Why what was that supposed to be? They're not tears. This is like a solid blue line on both like eyes. Like what was that?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is this what the kids are doing these days?
I don't
I
know. They're all a
guess.
lot younger than me.
Now,
Then-
can I tell you something that I thought was interesting about Olivia?
Of course you can.
Because I was looking because talking about 3 weeks worth of episodes, right? So I was like, all right, I want to have like some kind of little recap in front of me just so I remember things. And
Sure.
as I was looking things up, I saw a link to an article like referring to Olivia. And the headline actually, the reason I caught my eye was because apparently there was some unaired fight between like Olivia and Carson or something, which I didn't see all the details about it. So I
I
don't
did
really
hear
know.
about this. Yeah.
Yeah. But also what I saw was that apparently what Olivia was doing was like, so people kept looking at like the clues on the wall, right? And there was one that included like a bunny with a carrot, right? And
Yeah.
people were looking
Yes.
at that like, oh, this is Carrot Top. It must be Carrot Top. And they were associating that clue specifically with Olivia. And what's funny about it is that we found out from this article that that actually was Olivia's clue, but it has to do with Jenny McCarthy because she was a Playboy bunny.
So, like-
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Right, so they were like correctly like associating the clues for Olivia, but in the complete wrong direction.
Yeah.
Like going from like like the cheesiest
Which
comedian
you
could
know
think
she
of
was
to
punching the air like, yes, that is mine, but you idiots are never gonna figure out why.
Right, right. But you know what? Honestly, big props to production then for putting in a clue like that because like there was no question in my mind that it was Carrot Top. Every time they showed that bunny with the carrot, it's like, well, obviously.
Oh, I never thought it was Carrot Top.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I assumed from go. I said, well, at least we know who Olivia is. Like, you know, but who
I was
cares
so
to go
confident
gun
that
for
I had
her,
figured out Olivia, but I was still wrong.
who did you think she was, if not Carrot Top?
Well, so I can't remember if we ever talked about this or not. There was like that clue with like all of the pictures that they had on it, and I have since figured out how they relate to Jenny McCarthy, but it was like the red cross that like I remember when the reality guys were on, we were like, oh, it's probably some sort of like medical drama, like a Grey's Anatomy.
Mhm.
And then it had like the antennas, and then it had the New Year's Eve glasses. And after they said Grey's Anatomy, I was like, okay, well, New Year's Eve glasses could mean literal the New Year's Eve broadcast, but there was also a movie called New Year's Eve that was one of those like 1,000 celebrities are in it, and they like a Valentine's Day type movie. And I was like,
Okay.
all right, well, who was in both of these movies? Was anybody like in Grey's Anatomy that's also in Valentine's Day? And Katherine Heigl was. And she also like way, way, way back in the day was on a like CW style teen drama that was very like sci-fi Area 51-y. So I was like, oh, I figured it out. I got it. Good job, me. I'm a genius. Completely like found a way to interpret all of those clues. None of them were correct.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
We love
really
a
funny.
confidence that's not deserved.
I
Quite
would have
enjoyable.
eliminated myself like an idiot.
Right. So proud. Your celebrity relative is
Is
Katherine
Katherine
Heigl.
Heigl.
Film burning,
Wah,
film
wah.
burning. Well, whatever. Same result if I would have said Carrot Top.
Yeah, right.
Now in episode 6, though, we did see. Now, obviously, so we started this off saying that Monet had basically convinced Gabriel to pull her clue, and say like, don't share this with anybody else. However, he immediately did, and he did share it with Chris in this clue for clue deal. Did you view that as a betrayal? What did you think of that? Does this have no effect on you at all?
I don't really, I didn't personally really see it as that much of a betrayal, I guess. I had heard things that they were working together, but I feel like the pair that we had actually seen close, like the most closely working together throughout this whole season was like Gabriel and Chris. Like I haven't really seen anything that anyone's done to this point, like as a betrayal, really. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if it's because we're so used to watching these shows where like people are so much more cutthroat than that I was like, they're just playing the game. That's just the game.
It felt super fine to me. Like, I guess if it's not staying true, right? But as far as betrayals go, this felt pretty low budge.
Yeah, and like
1 to 10, this is a 2 at best.
The game isn't let's all be
Yeah.
friends and trust each other. The game is let me figure out who you're related to. If that means I have to show your clue to somebody else and they got the answer, oops. Sorry, that's the game.
Yeah.
And if you trust me enough, you realize I only shared it with one person. So
Right.
come on.
And I feel like we really have been seeing this happening like right from the start. I mean, remember how close Jane and Neil deGrasse Tyson's son, I'm blanking on his name now, but like they were like super tight in week 1, like, and she figured out his clue and he was like one of the first to go. Like, I feel like these kind of things have been happening since the beginning. So like I'm not really like, I don't know.
That is true.
It's not
too.
like, yeah, it's not like there's been like clear sides in the house or two, groups of allies are working together, and this was the first time we saw anybody like cross the line or something. Like, I also feel like this is the type of game, like, because if you win a competition, you get a clue, and then you could still be the next one out. And if you don't share that clue with anybody, it's just gone. Like everybody, they got to find a way to get information before this person leaves. You have to.
Right. Which I also think it's fair to mention the fact that like Chris has, as he said himself, all the clues. He has every
all
clue
the
available.
information.
But this man still knows absolutely nothing.
It's
like he doesn't know anything about anything. He didn't even know that Curb Your Enthusiasm was a show.
When he pulled Gabriel's clue and was like, "This means nothing to me," when in my opinion, Gabriel has the most obvious clue in the game, I said, "Honey."
So obvious. Like, come on.
I know.
Now, I will say that, like, with the clues that we've heard so far, I was pretty dead set on Gabe being related to Kenan Thompson.
Interesting. Okay.
Obviously, we know it has to be Nick Cannon. Like, there's no version of this that ends with it not being that. But before we knew that, but first, don't you see Kanan like around the eyes and stuff? Like, come on. They said the whole Good Burger thing. They're talking about
given our clues, I can totally see where you got that. But
thanks. I just wanted to be validated for a hot second.
What's so funny to me about Gabriel, and you had mentioned this with Chris, how people are just like omitting parts of like clues and stuff that like.
It's like, I heard that, but it doesn't matter. Like, because I know better. And it's like,
not even just that,
baby,
like,
there's a clue.
Everyone is so dead set that, well, Gabriel said that his celebrity relative is an athlete, but they're completely forgetting
that was during Two Truths and a Lie.
Right. They're forgetting that he said that during Two Truths and a Lie. And they're just like, no, well, Gabriel said that his celebrity relative is an athlete. So it has to be a basketball player or a football player. And it's like, what? Think of the context. That was the lie. In Two Truths and a Lie, something is the lie. Why are you harping on this
Gina,
and you can't figure out who
he's
he's related to?
For the same reason that these idiots were harping on the fact that JR must be related to an athlete after he done broke himself not playing basketball. Okay, but he must be related. Must be Dwayne Wade. Must be Dwayne Wade. It's like, what? Like, come on.
I'm like, how are you forgetting? How are you forgetting the way you were revealed that clue? That's the lie.
I mean, these people don't deserve $100,000.
Oh my god.
Where's Kuzi?
Yeah. And it's funny to me, like
$100,000.
It's still iconic. But I feel like it's funny to me too, because like we've been seeing lately too how close JR and Gabriel are in the house, and like JR being the one to lead the charge, like during that lie detector or the heart beat monitor thing, like with JR like specifically pointing questions towards like, is this the team that your claim to fame plays for? Like, like open it up like a little bit more broadly here. Like,
no, they're so sure.
Crazy.
So sure. Yeah.
And even after seeing Gabriel's clue, I feel like JR was still like, no, it could be an athlete. It could be an athlete. It's like
well, because he saw like the drumline clue and was like, oh, that must be the logo for a team and like the team's thing. But what's another one? Like, I can maybe accept that these people are too young to know Donny Osmond. Maybe I will accept that. They are all old enough to know Drumline. All right? Let's be serious.
Right, but like I mean, and your maybe is such a huge maybe, okay? Because like,
I'm grasping at straws here. Like I can possibly get past that.
Listen, I couldn't tell you a single thing that Donnie or Marie sang, but I know they're a thing. I know that they're Osmonds. I like, we know these things. Like, there's just certain things that in America we just know.
So there was someone in our TikTok comments, and I wish I saw what the handle was. That it made me laugh so hard that they were like, you know that Chris is thanking his lucky stars right now that his dad's only fan base is boomers, Mormons, and theater people. Like,
yeah,
you know what got me?
So. I guess so. But the Vegas thing should have helped.
It's like these people clearly did not grow up with parents who were in love with Donny Osmond. Like it. I feel like everyone in our generation at least had a friend whose mom was in love with Donny Osmond. Like,
well, I mean, not where I grew up, but sure.
I also another thing about Gabriel's clues to me, and maybe this is mostly just because I am a sports fan, but it seems like there are some people in there that are sports fans. Like you have JR specifically naming players
Yeah.
that he thinks Gabriel's related to, so he knows these names of these athletes. Like,
Mhm.
and it's funny to me because one of the clues. So on the paper clue from the bottle, there's a star, but earlier in the one where all the pictures were up, right, there was the same star, but you could see the colors. It had like that red outline, and it was kind of like goldish, like. The Dallas Cowboys logo is a star, but it is such a like the Cowboys are one of the most popular sports franchises in the world. It's very clear that is a blue star. That is the Dallas Cowboys logo. As soon as you see that red and gold thing, I don't know how you make the leap to that must be the Cowboys. It must be the NFL. Like that is clearly, and I don't even really watch this show, but like just seeing clips on like YouTube that pop up on my feed and stuff, it's very clear that that is the logo for America's Got Talent, which Nick Cannon is a host for, or was a host for. I don't know if he still is, but like come on, like this is, it's crazy.
Honestly.
I mean, there's also just the 7 babies.
Right, it was the babies for me and the drums. But I will say that until you said all of this in such a mocking way, that I didn't actually know that that's what the star was related to.
but I think
I just thought I was like, oh, drumline star. That was enough for me.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even put it together that it was.
I might have thought that
to like,
I might have thought that too, but the one that really caught me was when you could see it, the actual color of it in that other game that they had played earlier on.
Unless those are both true, like that star was that clue, and the paper clue was drumline star. You know, like they could both be.
I like that version. Yeah. I like that version. That means I only missed it once.
And I still think it's crazy though that you see that star and think Cowboys, because like it really is such like a distinctive logo. It's on their helmets. There's a giant blue star at that midfield on the football field. Like it is clear that that is a different star than the Dallas Cowboys logo.
Totally fair. I also didn't think that anything had to do with that. Like if you're still thinking athlete, I was just thinking, oh well, that's just however they colored it because we're on this show. Like I didn't put any more thought past it that the colors didn't align. So I'll just leave that there. That could just be my own stupidity, though. Like, I'm not saying I'm brilliant.
I think it also really just
nothing
depends
about
on
nothing when it comes to football. So
I also thought Dallas Cowboy star was gray, and John was like, "It's so very obviously blue," and I was like, "What?" It's like, wow,
yeah, I was like, the way that I have never seen that logo in my life. Couldn't tell.
Well,
don't
see,
know
that's
her.
the thing,
And
that's
so
embarrassed.
But that's why I said earlier, this may just be because I'm a sports fan and I've worked in sports, so like these things stick out to me. But like, and I think that's what a lot of this
colors, so gray and blue.
Yeah, they're like gray, blue, white. Yeah,
so I mean, maybe it's just my own color, dyslexia.
No, but it's. I think a lot of this is just really like your things that you are exposed to sometimes by accident. Like I said, like the only reason that I don't even watch America's Got Talent, but sometimes that'll just pop up as like suggested for you on YouTube.
Oh, but you're absolutely. The second you said it, I was like, ooh.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. I don't watch that show either. I mean, I did like in the very beginning. Who doesn't like to see people get like 3X? That's a good time. The 3Xs. Do you remember that one audition? I know we're gonna go off a little bit now, but there's that woman who was like, she was like a bird lady, and she did like bird sounds.
This sounds familiar, actually.
Yes, and like she came out, she goes, "Oh, what is that? A carnanu or something like that." So, and everybody's like, "Bang, bang, bang."
I do not remember that.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look this up now. I'm telling you,
can you do those sounds one more time?
I don't think so. She's like,
I feel like we're gonna have to somehow...
and it was like just like. It was just so bizarre, and like they were making fun of her because they did that weird reality TV shot where like the camera zooms out and shows you the entire audience but no one's faces. It just kind of like spins around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like oof, like and then like crickets in the background, it was like one of those silly things. I bet you if you just go on YouTube and just search like America's Got Talent, like
bird lady,
like I'm like. Like, I'm sure it will come up.
Probably.
I'm already trying to think of ways that we can somehow pull that audio to use for something.
For
For anything.
what?
Anything.
What is that applicable for?
For what?
Anything. You got to think outside the box.
My
I'll find a way.
I gotta see if she comes up.
I'm looking for it right now.
There's bird sounds. No, bird lady. It was definitely a lady. A lady bird. No, that's not.
Bird calls, bird.
I don't know her.
Oh God.
No, it's really old. But all right. Anyway, go ahead. We'll go. We'll find her. That'll be an end of stream surprise for our friends.
Oh
There you
God.
go.
So we'll come back to that. But so obviously, so they played that that interrogation game, which I actually thought was really, really fun.
I liked
I
it.
thought it was fun,
yeah, this
too.
is a really, really cool game, especially because like you really couldn't gauge whether or not someone was actually lying or not. Especially
Right.
because we saw Hugo kind of manipulate the system, like going in with his heart rate already high, so all of his
Mhm.
answers didn't matter.
This was like one instance where like he scared me a little bit. He was like, I want to go in there with my heart rate as high as possible. I'm thinking about car crashes. I'm like, wait, what?
I think he's hysterical. I think
I
I
think he's
really
funny,
like
too.
Hugo. I
yeah,
really like
I
him a
think
lot.
it's so fun.
I do too. I really like him. I think he's funny. But like he said that and I like did a double take. I was like, wait a minute, what are you thinking about? No, this was very funny. What did you think of Detective Derek?
Detective Derek.
It was so
Detective
much.
Derek
It was
for
just
me.
the drama of it all was insane.
The drama of it all was insane. I honestly, I felt like this level of cheese was right in line with Big Brother. Like
It
this is
really was.
This
It
is what
really,
we do,
really-
you know, in our house. You know,
Like the
Right.
detective
I
was
enjoyed
giving,
it.
you know that guy on Big Brother where if you get a punishment, he like follows you around and like yells things
like
at you all
screaming
day.
in your face
Yeah.
all day. Yes, that. Those are the vibes he gave me. Totally, totally agree. And so I enjoyed him.
Yeah.
But he also gave me that feeling. You know how we talk about Big Brother? We're like, oh my gosh, if somebody else came in the room as I was
Yes.
watching this, I'd be so embarrassed. He gave me those vibes as well.
Right? Like he's like throwing coffee on his own face and like it's like I could like
I
sit there
did love it.
right like some of these shows when we're like getting ready to do this podcast, like I'll be sitting there with like a notebook to like take notes, and it's like me sitting there with my pen and my pad like writing things down, and like somebody walks in and they just see this guy throwing coffee in his face. It's like, what? Like you're taking this really seriously.
It's so funny
You're
because
taking this
like,
so seriously with something so freaking stupid.
but like, because Kevin and Frankie are always giving like a certain level of cheese, right? But like this was on another level. I was like, how did we get here?
Yes, and there's a certain level of forgiveness that comes with actually famous people. Like, okay, like this might be really, really cheesy, but this is one of the Jonas brothers and his brother. Right, so like we forgive it because we know they're being cheesy for the sake of the show. When you have an unknown showing up like that, like you said, like throwing coffee on himself, it's like, what the hell is this? Because
Yeah.
it's sinking to another like depth that the Jonas brothers and brother won't go to.
The Jonas
Right.
brothers and brother. I can't
I'm
do
right.
that.
It's not my fault. That's how your family dynamic is set up. Like I didn't.
I
didn't
actually,
make
I
it
gotta tell you, I'm putting it out there. I think Franklin is the best Jonas brother. I'm gonna be honest. I like him the best.
That's a pretty bold statement. The Jonas girlies are gonna come for you.
I don't care.
Let him
Franklin's the
come.
best
Let him
Jonas.
come because he's
Yeah.
correct. As far as I'm concerned, Franklin is the bomb. Now Nick looks the best. Okay, Nick looks the best. That's a whole different category. He's giving us things that Franklin cannot. However, in an entertainment setting, I'm looking for Franklin. He's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. And I think it's also just super cute how they got him involved in this. Like, it's just the claim to fame connection. Like, I get everything that's going on with this. Like,
Of course, yeah.
good on you. Good on you.
Yeah,
but
it really is a perfect dynamic.
it's awesome. And this last episode where we were missing the other Joe, I don't even know what his name is. Is it Kevin?
Kevin.
Yeah, he was missing, and I didn't miss him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
his
Darcy
name.
you said that.
Yeah, you tell Darcy. You
I'm gonna
tell
tell Darcy you forgot his name.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot his name. I sure did. I sure did. And it starts with the same letter as mine. It's not my fault he's not as engaging as Franklin. Okay, once again,
Yikes.
you're gonna try and come for me for things that are not my fault.
Right. No, you're
The
right.
producers obviously thought it'd be fine. So no, don't
Yeah, this
fault
guy
me for
is
being
so
inventive.
Kevin is so not needed that they were able to do an entire episode without him. It was
Wow.
Whatever.
just one phone call in the beginning saying I'm not going to make it. And I did enjoy Franklin being like, yes.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. Oh geez. Where are we now? Does it matter?
We've been jumping around. I don't think
Yeah, we've been jumping around. We've been jumping
worrying
around.
about chronological order.
Right. So at the end, at the end of this other one, so Olivia obviously she chose Carson, and she said Jeff Gordon, which is what we all really thought all along, right? And she was wrong. She was wrong.
Well, there's another one that they keep name dropping, another race car driver.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Earnhardt.
That's the one.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
know what
that's
car he drives.
I'm pretty sure that's the answer, but it's so funny because they have said it so many times, but never in the guess off. And I'm like, you keep saying his name.
Yeah.
I thought we might get it in this last episode. Instead, they decided to take another swing and miss at Chris. But
I could not handle the fact that of all the people that he could have guessed that he felt confident on, he was like, let's just do Chris again. What are you talking about? Everybody's been saying Dale Earnhardt Jr. the whole season. You're not going to just try that?
Right.
You have no clues for Chris.
No.
and it seems like they're
in the dark.
it seems like they're always so sure. It's like it has to be Elvis, and then it jumps to it has to be Jim Carrey, and then it jumps to it has to be Elton John, and then the very next day, oh, there's no way it's anyone but Billy Idol. Meanwhile, you've had two names all season for Carson. You know that one is wrong. How are you not more confident that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is right for Carson than this random Billy Idol guess that you just came up with for Chris after your other three guesses were wrong?
And at least like when the Elvis one happened, I was like, yeah, it's the wrong answer, but like I can forgive that. I can see where you might have gotten that from your interpretation of the clue. That's fine. I'm on board with the Elvis guess. Great. Elton John, unforgivable. Billy Idol, unforgivable. Like what are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There was something that really, really surprised me about some of this, and I already lost it. Shoot. Oh, wow.
It's gone.
Damn. I thought if I started, it would come back. You know how that goes? Yeah, no, I lost it. Oh, well. We'll
I bet it'll come back.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Is it about guessing other people? Oh, sorry.
No, it's not about
thought you were
guessing other
thinking.
people, but I do have another thought though. You know what? No one's saying that. Like, I'm a little surprised it hasn't come up. I'm scared that people are gonna like kind of shout at me for this one, but like, I'm sure it's an Osmond, right? I'm sure it is. I'm not.
Oh.
This is not a new. This is not really new. But isn't there a world that where maybe it could have been John Mayer? Like, we don't. Doesn't he look a little bit like him?
The first episode before we got any clues for him, that's exactly who I thought it was.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because
And there
I
were some
I
people-
still can't get out of my head. Even
In the
though I
very
know that
beginning,
nothing lines up still.
In the
look at
very
him and I
beginning,
still
and
see it.
especially when he was like singing in the talent show, whatever, before we really dove into his clues, I was certain it was John Mayer.
And some people in there were saying that name, right? I think Jane was one of them in the beginning that was talking about John
Yeah.
Mayer. A couple people I think were toying with that idea until the clue with the 70s came up, Teen Idol
Right.
70s or whatever.
Mm.
But
All right.
yeah,
I forget about that. There's so many clues at this point. I kind of forget like certain things.
I know.
Well, so do they.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, they have notebooks though when they're playing the game. Like I have a real life. Like I'm remembering a couple things. Like they shouldn't be forgetting these things. Like,
Right.
What did you think of this last challenge that we saw in this last one? It was basically like the trivia, like and like kind of like a weird trivia
I
/ musical chairs.
I loved this.
Fun.
Yeah, super, super fun. And I was really impressed with how much Monet knew. Like
she was amazing at this.
smoking 'em.
she was incredible.
I also enjoyed Carson getting thrown out of a round because she pushed JR at one point.
Yes,
Like
good.
any
Yes,
other
Wow.
the
game.
forum.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like any other game challenge. Imagine people tackle each other on the ground on the challenge. They're so physical. Meanwhile, it's like a little push in this game. It's like, sorry, you're out.
You're
But I
out.
get
You
it. I
can't
mean,
act
they're
like
not.
that. What are you
They're
doing?
yeah.
You
They're
can't do
not here
that.
for that kind of game. So,
No, you
but
can't act like that. But otherwise, it was really, really fun. I'm also very surprised at how much other people don't know. Like,
yeah,
you guys are in this world. How do you not know some of these answers? Like, I'm sitting there shouting some things out, and I don't really know things. The hell is wrong with these people?
JR was really bad at this game. He was really bad
I
at this
feel like
game.
He is
JR
bad at
never
this
knows what
game
the
in general.
hell is going on in this game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. What did you guys think of the little fight though between Chris and Gabriel?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
When Gabriel was calling Chris pampered, and Chris got big mad at that.
I understand why Chris got mad at that. I was disappointed in this fight. I was disappointed on both fronts. Because I thought it was kind of cool for Chris to kind of try to get ahead of things and like just say, "Hey, listen, I did this. I'm not super proud of it, but I did it."
Mhm.
And at the same time, like Gabriel, how mad do you really get to be? You just did this to Monet. Like,
Right.
Right.
like,
I
isn't
think
there a world where you can just be like, oh, okay, like I don't really love that you did this to me, but all right,
yeah.
I get it because I just did it. Like,
I think
Yeah.
that's all. Yeah.
I really think though that like the reason that Gabriel was feeling the way he was because I feel like this partnership between Chris and Gabriel had been like building momentum, and it was really fun
Mhm.
to watch them in these episodes like working together. And I think obviously Chris should have been a little more careful because it seemed like the way they were describing the events was that they were in the room together, saw the clue, and Chris showed Carson, but like not in like a private area or a private moment. Like apparently Gabriel was standing right there and like saw it happen, which I guess in that instance I could be like, if I saw somebody sharing my clue with someone else, maybe I would have been like, that I hate that this is happening. I'm really pissed. Like if I didn't know it happened and then you came to me and told me, like maybe I wouldn't be as mad. I don't know.
No, I do hear that because yeah, there definitely is. It's a certain extra layer to it because you heard it happen.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that temperature should immediately be cooled. Like if I knew something like that and somebody came to me, hey, listen, I did this. And
I
I'm like,
agree.
wow, you came to me and told me this. You didn't even know that I knew,
Right.
but you still came to me. Like I don't know. I feel like it would still cool me down.
I completely agree with because Chris,
Because
he
I also
didn't
just
have
did
to.
Right. Well, that's the piece
Right.
is that he also did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like I can see why in the moment Gabriel would get more angry about it, but I feel like the fact that Chris, it was weighing on him enough that he felt like he had to go and tell Gabriel about it. I would have been like, all right, we're playing a game in here. I get it. Like that would have
Right.
kind of cooled it down for me, like you said.
I know we're jumping around and we can just, I guess, just kind of continue to do so.
Fine.
Now, JR at one point, before we actually found out that he was indeed, related to Lil Nas X, didn't he also, I know he told us, but didn't he also say that there was a moment where like his celebrity relative, like as an athlete or something, left to poop or something like that?
Yeah,
He
I
was
think
saying it to them. He didn't say it to us.
he was
Oh, I
like
thought it was mentioned twice.
so
But
he did mention I think he was talking to Monet, right? I believe it was Monet, and he framed it as if it was like, it sounded like he was saying like it was a fourth quarter of a game or something. There was a
yeah,
timeout, and my relative ran off the court, and then in like his little diary room or confessional session,
maybe that's
he
what it
he,
was. He said
he
on
said like,
stage then.
yeah,
Mhm.
he was like, my relative was on stage and ran off, and like on the mic said like, I'm doing a number two.
Even whether it was in the fourth quarter of a game or anything, that wasn't some bells.
Right. Like
Like,
I so vividly remember that happening.
right. Like I didn't, and this is how old I am. I didn't really know who Lil Nas X was. Like I heard the name. I knew that one video that had the big scandal and controversy
Oh
around it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I only really got dialed in because I heard about this poop story. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the realest thing I've ever heard. Like, because, right, obviously, us, like, coming from like a theater background, like, how many times have we been on stage literally alone?
Uh-huh.
And I've
Right.
always thought, like, oh my gosh, what if I did have to poop? And you may only be there for 4 minutes by yourself, but what if it happens?
That's an
Like,
eternity.
right, you're not in charge of when
Right.
it's time, right? And so I just thought that was like such a real thing. I was like, yo, who is this guy? And like, and that is
Right.
what actually kind of made me like a fan of his. I feel like the second I would have heard that, I don't care in what context, I would have immediately switched gears.
Right.
Like, even if he was saying it in the context of a game, I feel like I would have been like, oh, that sounds like what happened to Lil Nas X.
Right. Like that sounds mad familiar. And then once I start thinking, I'm like, oh, I heard that. Wait a minute.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And because there was already there were already like thoughts out there, even if like he's been trying, like JR's been trying to like play it off that his relative is an athlete, right? Like everybody had been saying DaBaby, right? Like it's got to be a rapper, like, something like that. Like, so like once you are like, if you're already thinking it has to be a rapper, not an athlete, and then you hear that story and you know that he's trying to play it off, it is an athlete, and you know a rapper that's happened to.
Yeah.
Like, wait a
Right.
minute.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, people are they're not listening. They're not listening, as my mother
Open
would
up
say.
your
They're
listening
hearing,
ears.
but they're not listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that on that. Since you've been following Hugo and Olivia, postseason, as we like to say as BB heads here, any mention of the fact that Olivia lied to his face about who she was related to?
Not that I've seen. Not that
So
I've
no
seen.
one cares. It's just over. We begin our relationship with lies.
That's the
and
game. It's
we're
the
fine.
game. We see people on Big Brother lie to each other all the time.
That's why I couldn't play this game, because that moment didn't feel like game.
Right.
But I guess it was. I guess
It was interesting.
I guess that is.
I got to
part of
tell
it.
you though,
Yikes,
like
yikes.
it really showed. I think it makes sense that we all really like Hugo, because Hugo had by far like the most emotional exit of anybody.
God.
Everyone got
And
up and was like hugging him and crying.
Yeah.
Like,
that's another one that it's like they clearly edited this down, because what we saw him say would not have produced the amount of emotion that we saw. I want to know what else he said about,
Yeah.
like as he was leaving.
Yeah, he also left there saying that JR was his best friend. He said, "This is my best friend. This is my best friend." I thought that was like super cute. And
I
that
just
was
want to know what else he said to make every single person there just
Yeah.
start weeping like that.
all those relationships is something we didn't.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone will talk to us. Do you think they'll talk to us? I'd like
That
to
would
know
be a
more
lot of
about their
fun.
relationship. Why we should have had live feeds for this.
Yeah,
I
right.
would have been
Killed
super
to have had
interested.
live feeds for this.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I would have loved
Yeah.
it. We should start reaching out to some of these people. I would love to talk to somebody from there and really know like what a day in this house was like. What did breakfast look like? Because after Chris and Gabriel had that fight, I was very, very dialed into the fact that when they did make amends, and there was a lot of food on that table that was.
Yeah, it's like they were
uneaten.
having like a burger night.
Yeah, it looked like a burger night, but no one finished. Every plate had a lot of food on it. Who's responsible for that? Is there a chef that failed? Is this like another Anika's waffles? I
Oh
want
my
to
God.
know things
The
like
things
about the
you
dynamics
dial
of the
into
house.
are wild.
Well, because listen, I am a fat boy, okay, and there are plates full of French fries, which is just like incomprehensible to me.
Yeah.
I
No. I gotta
would
be honest,
leave the burger there before I would leave the fries there.
Right.
So, what happened
I
at this
honestly,
table?
I gotta be honest, Kyle. Like, I actually noticed this as well because, and this is
Oh
what
my
really
God.
caught my but this is really what caught my attention. So, do you know when like you have a plate of food and maybe someone cooked it for you, and like you're not really enjoying it, but you don't
Face
want
down the
them.
garbage.
Well, yeah, that, but also like you don't really like your plate is like still pretty full, but you don't want people to see how full it is. Like Chris was sitting there and had like a napkin on top of his like plate, and you could tell that there was like still a substantial amount of burger, and it's like, oh, like whoever made it, like maybe somebody barbecued that night, like in the cast or something, and it's like, oh, like
Oh my God.
thanks for making these burgers, Gabriel. Like,
Thanks a
I'm just
lot.
gonna
Like,
cover this
I
up.
just feel a little sick. People know my clues. I feel sick.
Oh
I just
my
like put it
God.
down.
When I saw the napkin on top of the half-eaten food, I was like, "Ooh, he didn't enjoy that meal. He's trying to hide it."
Yes, but no one enjoyed it because every plate had mad food on it. All right, so
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
would
so
love to understand
funny.
love to understand the dynamics in this house.
Oh
I'd be
god.
very interested in that.
Oh man.
um,
I will say though about Hugo's speech, we didn't see the whole thing, obviously, and we probably missed some of the more emotional stuff. But I will say that, like, because I remember it being in the news when Jimmy Carter went into hospice. So I feel like seeing somebody stand up there talking about your grandfather who's just gone into hospice and saying all these nice things about how like inspirational he is to you, because Jimmy Carter obviously is not just famous for being like a president. Like he's done so much work for like Habitat for Humanity. Like he's done a lot of good work. So like I'm
mhm.
sure that it was probably an emotional speech from Hugo. So like even if
Oh
we
yeah.
didn't get to see it all, I almost did kind of understand like how they could have gotten to that point with whatever else he said that we didn't see.
Right. I'd love to
So
talk to Hugo. I just think everything about him was intriguing.
Hmm.
I mean, aside
maybe
from
we
being
can
a
get
hottie toddy, um, just the relationships he seemed to forge in that house, like that's interesting to me. Now that he's dating somebody else, best friends with this one, we saw nothing of his friendships. It didn't look like anyone was playing the game with him.
When I found out that Hugo and Olivia were dating, I was shook. I was literally at work. An article came up on my phone. I ran outside. Darcy was flying trapeze, and I was like, "Have you heard?" Like I could not comprehend it.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
maybe they'll come on together.
I would live.
I would love that. We're reaching out tonight. Before we lose the nerve. Can we also talk about Monet? And who we think she might be related to.
I
Because
know
I'm
hers.
definitely
Yeah,
digging
you
this.
clocked hers fast.
Who did?
John did.
And what did
It's
John say?
it's JB Smoove. He's Curb Your Enthusiasm, SNL. I
Oh,
love JB Smoove.
See,
I think
that
he's so
that
funny.
one would have tripped me up because one, I don't know Curb Your Enthusiasm at all, but
neither do I.
two, like that is not a name that I would have known until you said it. He's somebody that I have seen before, never knew. But he's always
I
like,
have
oh,
to
that
look him
guy
up.
I've
I don't even.
seen,
I don't even know who this is.
I feel like that's a
Um,
little more of a
Yeah.
niche one that like she might get pretty far on that.
I had suspicions already, but then after seeing the Curb Your Enthusiasm clue, and then even one of the more recent clues that we got of being in Spider-Man: Far From Home with
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I've
He's one of
heard
the
a lot of
teachers in the
people.
school.
I have absolutely seen this man a
Right,
million
but you don't
times in
know
my
his
life.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know his name.
A
Oh
lot of
my
people
gosh.
are thinking Jamie Foxx for her too. I've heard a lot of people say that, but that is for sure the answer.
Right, right. Wow, wow, wow.
Do you like how we saw? I think it was Chris saying to Gabriel, "What about Jaleel White, who played Urkel?" I'm like,
That's what I wanted to dive into. You didn't buy it?
well,
I felt pretty I felt like it's possible.
if I could see that, like you might think like, oh, was he on Curb Your Enthusiasm? But I don't remember Jaleel White ever being a part of SNL. Am I wrong about that?
No,
Um,
I wouldn't know either of
Right,
those
like the
names, and that's
problem
the
is
thing.
there's been so many people that have been on SNL that if you told me someone was on it, I'd be like, maybe,
I would believe you. Yeah,
I don't
if
know
you said
everybody
so, I'd be
that's
like,
ever been on
okay.
SNL. It's been running for so long.
I could be
I mean,
completely wrong, but I feel like if Jaleel White was on SNL at some point, there'd be some like classic Urkel, SNL skit that was out there somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
no, I totally agree with that. I mean, unless like, what if the whole cast was on and it wasn't like just about Urkel?
yeah,
Um,
it could be.
I mean,
But I
I
like
don't know.
I also
Um,
wouldn't put it past me to like if there was a sketch like that I just haven't seen that sketch. Like it's been running for so long. I don't think that I would have really been able to
right,
say
and
for sure. Well, I've
I
never
don't
seen
have
anything from
eyes.
him.
Yeah, I don't have eyes for SNL. Like that's not really my comedy. I don't usually like most things shown on it, so like I wouldn't be looking for it. Who knows? And Curb Your Enthusiasm, I feel like a lot of people came through that show.
I don't know that show at all.
I don't know it either. I just know that Larry David was a part of it. My father used to watch it, but I feel like it became one of those shows that people did a lot of cameos on.
Hmm.
So if you told me that he popped in there, I'm like, all right, like, yeah, sure. That sounds serviceable. Just like
Right.
Friends. Who wasn't on Friends
Sure,
when
yeah.
when it was in its heyday? Like
Yeah,
everyone
yeah, yeah.
passed through there. So like, who knows? Like I
I,
buy
I'm
all of it.
I'm looking, and I almost was immediately about to say like, oh, I have to eat my words because something came up, Urkel reboot, like SNL clip, but it's not Jaleel White actually playing Urkel. It's just them doing like a Family Matters.
Well,
Like,
that
Steve
I'm
Urkel
sure
parody.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but I'm not seeing anywhere that he's appeared on SNL or even hosted it or anything. So I don't know.
Matt is saying something about a Colby Donaldson. I don't know what that means. Why do we care about this? Is he related to Monet in some way? What is this? Who is a Colby Donaldson? I see Gina's already
Was
looking
Colby
down. She is
I
on
am.
the
Colby
Google.
Donaldson?
Maybe she's using Bing. Oh, Matt says Survivor Legend. Okay.
Oh.
Not celebrity enough for this show. No
Oh,
disrespect to Survivor. Except for the fact that Survivor keeps disrespecting us. I'm still not okay with the fact that they are showing commercials for Survivor during Big Brother, saying that it's the greatest game ever played and the greatest game in the world. Like, Survivor is super fun, but like, get the fuck out of here. Like, Big
Right.
Brother is still on 3 times a week for a reason. We have live feeds for a reason. People pay to watch these people do nothing. Don't disrespect our show. That's very rude. We've been very accommodating to Survivor in our space. And like, I don't like it. It makes me really mad. This needs to be clipped. I want to hashtag the hell out of this because I'm sick of it. Every single time I turn it on, you're disrespecting my shit. And it really makes me mad.
Listen, I do enjoy
51
Survivor. I have a Survivor flag behind me. Like, I do enjoy
Right.
Survivor.
Survivor's
But
the bomb.
I do think that it is. I still cannot get over the fact that our season finale of Big Brother has gotten pushed back for the second episode of the season of Survivor, like
It's
multiple
so
times.
disrespectful. It's so
Like,
disrespectful.
We have had to
Well,
wait.
now we're
until,
getting
like,
bumped a whole day.
Oh yeah, but like the fact that we had to wait until 10 p.m. that time for our finale, so that Survivor could start. The second episode of the season of Survivor could
Right.
start at 8.
Big
Like-
Brother is a cash cow for Viacom. Okay. Like, they keep, listen, anyone who likes Paramount Plus, you like that new show Special Ops Lioness, you like to watch your Yellowstones, your Star Trek and all this stuff. The only reason the lights are on in that house is because of the Big Brother live feeds. We keep the lights on. All right.
That's right.
So stop with the disrespect. Survivor does
Yeah.
not have a poll like that. Thank you very much. Okay.
Do you see Matt's next comment here? By the way, it says,
Yeah, he's
"If
trying to
BB's
fight.
so good, yeah. Why don't they get a 2 a year then?" And I would like to
Because
just
our
say
game
that-
is longer. Get out of here.
Yeah,
When
I was
your
just gonna
thing
say,
reps begins
current-
and
But
ends
also-
within a month.
But
Right.
also,
Yeah, the current
we have gotten 2 in
format.
a year.
Well, we have,
Thank
yes,
you.
and I hope that happens again this year, or going into 2024, that we have one in a span of 12 months, 2 in a span of 12 months. I mean, but I will say that you're right. 2 seasons of Survivor is still, especially this year, right? Because we're doing 100 days in Big Brother this year. 2
Yeah.
seasons of Survivor is literally like half the amount of time that people are in the Big Brother
Right.
house.
Yes, this is the longest season that we've had, but either way, you can take any season of Big Brother and you can still do 2 survivors in it. And Julie is still reporting for work every Thursday. She's still coming to work long after Survivor has ended twice. So stop it. I didn't mean to come in here and choose violence. Well, no, you sure did. You sure did. You came in here guns a-blazing. How dare you come to my house and tell me that my show is no good?
Oh, somebody else is giving us help with another clue here.
I was just looking at
Adrian,
it, yeah.
Adrian.
Adrian Celeste. Hello, Adrian.
She's like, get
JB
back on
Smooth-
track.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? I got to be honest. I completely even missed this. JB Smooth
Wow.
did Caesar Sportsbook commercials, and I really enjoy those
Julius
commercials. He's
Caesar.
really funny, and people have mentioned Julius Caesar on there. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
you, Adrian.
You know what they keep thinking that Julius Caesar thing is? This Julius Peppers, they keep saying.
Right.
What the hell is a Julius Peppers?
So
Who
he's
is
a football
he?
player. He's a football player. JR has been
Oh.
convinced that that's Gabriel's claim to fame.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I just keep hearing Julius Peppers, and like, I don't know what that is, but I understand that that's where they got it from, was those statues. But thank you, Adrian, for that.
That's a great. I honestly, like, there were enough other clues in there for
It's
me
gotta
that
be
pointed
that.
to JB Smoove that I didn't even think of the Caesar thing. I was like, oh, that must be someone else. I just don't know who it is. Like, but
Wow.
that
I
makes
feel like
complete
there is
sense.
so much. There's got to be so much on that clue wall that we don't even clock. You know.
So
Yeah,
can
well, especially
somebody
with the
please help me
changing,
with
right?
this family is everything then? If we're not down with Jaleel White and like family matters. So it's like, up, that's it. That's it. Y'all nailed it. If it's not that, then what is that? Or is it just
I
Could it
mean,
have
Donny
some?
Osmond was a family
Yeah, I was
band
gonna.
in a family band.
And I also think even
okay? All
Joseph
right.
and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? Joseph and has a lot of drama with his brothers, and that and ultimately like makes up with them in the end, right? So like I don't know, maybe that
Family is
could have
everything.
some.
Ev-
Yeah,
Family's where the heart is.
that's right.
Stupid. Interesting question here. Now, out of our top four, who do you think is winning and who do you want to win? Two questions in one. And ooh, boy, do I love it. Who do I think is winning?
I have two answers. I can't decide
Yeah,
which
I
one I
have
think
two
more.
answers for that. I think it could be Chris or
Yeah.
Gabe. Well, no,
Oh,
no.
that's not what I was gonna say.
Because Monet.
See, that's the thing. I think that
I don't
Chris
think
and
people know anything
Monet.
about her.
I think Chris and Monet are in the best positions to win as long
Yep.
as they don't have to guess and then
Right.
get it wrong.
Mhm.
But I feel like at this point, like whoever has to guess and chooses Carson is going to choose Dale Earnhardt Jr. and they're going to be right. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people are starting to catch on to Nick Cannon, right? In this last episode, did somebody figure out Nick Cannon? I feel like
Somebody said it, but it felt. I
Someone
think
has said it,
whatever
yeah.
that conversation was, it was like immediately debunked, or
yeah.
that's how
It
it felt.
dismissed, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like,
Like
I
that
don't
felt very
know.
much in the same vein as Gabriel being like, "Well, Joseph from the Bible," and they were like, "Shut up,
Yeah,
Gabriel." Like
no, it's
it
not
felt
that.
like
No
that. Like
way.
Nick Cannon is
Yeah,
not Nick
fair.
Cannon. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry,
Fair.
sorry, an idiot. Yeah, I think it also depends on how this game ends. Like, I don't know because we didn't watch season one, so I don't
Yeah, I
really
don't know
know
what the
what
end
the
game
end
looks
game
like of
is.
this.
Yes, yes, and I think that has a lot to do with this too. Because if it's based on knowledge, Chris may have the most, but he also still knows nothing because he doesn't know anything about pop culture or like people or anything. Like he doesn't even know what shows are shows. So if it's based on things like that, like Chris may not do so well, but the fact that no one knows who he is what's going to keep pushing him
I feel
forward.
like Chris is only gonna get eliminated by being the guesser. You know, I don't think they're ever at this point.
Yes, Adrian.
The clue could literally be his last name is Osmond, and they'd be like, "Who is Chris? This is crazy. I'll never know." You know, like it's just they're
Right.
not
Right.
getting it.
Yeah, and that's I think that's what's kind of interesting about this because it depends on how this game ends. Are we doing like a mole kind of a thing and eliminating people based on like
Yeah,
truly
I have
information?
no
Because
idea
then
what the
Chris
finale
is
just looks
definitely
like.
out of here because he's a know nothing.
But I think that Monet is in a really, really good spot because, like me and Kyle just said, we know exactly who it is. Couldn't name him for the life of me. Like he's just that guy that I've seen in stuff. I don't know who he is. None of the
Right.
clues would point me in the direction of guessing JB Smoove. Like it's just like I think that one is very, very niche. I don't see anybody clocking that.
Except that just looking at the little bit that I saw on Wikipedia, JB Smoove is not that niche. People should know. We're just as shameful too
I mean, yeah, that could be fair.
for not knowing.
That could be true.
Yeah, we're just dumb nuts.
Ugh.
Because I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty valid. Wow, that's really ooh, like they were like pretty legit things. On
Yeah,
this
but like
list.
again, I've seen him in 1,000 things. I've
Right.
never heard his name in my life until we did this podcast.
Yeah, we failed though. We failed. Who do I want to win though? I want Gabe to win. I love Gabe.
Yeah,
I like
I
Gabe
just-
too.
I
Yeah,
like Gabe a
every
lot.
time he's on screen, he just makes me smile.
I kind of
Yeah.
think I want. I kind of think I want Monet to win, though. To be honest.
That's also fair.
See,
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
want
I
it to be
support that.
Chris.
See, but I support that too. Who's our fourth person?
Carson.
Carson.
Oh, See, I like her though. I don't.
I don't
No
see her
disrespect.
winning though.
I don't see her winning either. Like, no disrespect to her. It's not that I don't want her to win. Like, she's cool too. Last season's finale was basically a final guess off where the top three last season had to compete in a final challenge, which is like a truth or dare sort of comp. Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Truth or dare?
Right.
So now how does that
Yeah, I don't know.
how does that work as a 3-person guess off? Is it like they're taking turns and like there's a point system or
Maybe.
Yeah. Which I feel like maybe oh my god.
Matt, stupid.
A
I
battle
want
back.
Tom Hanks' niece to win a comeback challenge and take it all at the 11th hour.
They really did start the season off with a bang, man.
Maybe then Tom Hanks would finally send a video.
He's still the only one.
Yes,
He's
as
still the
John
only
loves
one.
to point out, she is still the only person to not receive a video from their celebrity relative.
Yeah. Hugo didn't either, but I mean it's
Well,
that's a
understandable
different circumstance, yeah.
because
Yeah,
right, completely different
okay.
circumstances.
I don't. Yeah,
This was
exactly.
clearly just a Tom Hanks did not have any time or interest.
No,
in sending in that.
like as you like to say, he does not know that woman. What did you say?
Oh,
And that
God.
challenge winner.
I know. I feel like I've read this comment 4 times. I'm not retaining what it says.
So let's read it out loud for everybody.
Yeah.
Adrian's back. She says, and the challenge winner gets to decide at top 3 out of the other 2 who's going to be the guesser. All right, that feels BB-ish. And at final 2, that same person gets to decide if that person wants to guess who they are. Okay. So the challenge
And
winner decide at top 3. So you get to pick who left is going to guess.
Uh-huh.
And then at final 2, I guess that same winner gets to also decide
if they want that person to guess their relative, or it says also they themselves want to be the guesser for the last time.
So
if
is
you
it
win
like
that last challenge,
that's a lot of power. That's a
yes?
lot of
So
power.
what I hear from that, correct me if I'm wrong, is the challenge winner sees the second 2 people and it's like one of you guesses the other one, like they have to guess each other, and the challenge winner is just like peace out and like waits it out. And then at final 2, the challenge winner is like either I'm gonna guess you or you're gonna guess me.
Yes.
That's
how
I guess
read
it's
that as
like
well.
it's like winning.
That is a lot of power. Shit.
It's like winning part 1 of the HOH and going automatically to part 3. You know what I mean? In Big Brother, like, and the other 2 have to battle it out, and then whoever wins there has to face off against you. You know,
That is a ton of power. You
That's
you if you win that top 3, you literally decide how the game ends, like right from there.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Adrian adds, the truth or dare game last season is basically a point sort of game, like you said, where they can choose either truth or dare when each of the top 3 is asked a question about their celebrity relative, and they can choose. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So that means we only have one episode. Yeah, thank you, by the way.
Yeah,
Adrian, for your knowledge
insight.
here.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I want to be like T-shirt in the mail, but we don't have anything like that.
Oh, there's a part 2 to that comment.
There is a part 2. Let's see here. Adrian
and
continues.
They can choose
truth, where they can answer the question, and it's basically a huge way for people to know who your relative is, or they can choose dare, where it's just normal dares. So that means we're really wrapping this up next week.
Well, no, there would be 2 more up. Like there's this Monday and then next Monday. Because right now we're at 4.
Oh yeah, this doesn't sound like a 1 episode thing to you.
No, I think
that like 3, and then we'll do another.
Yeah.
Could it be like a longer finale?
That 4th person out. Sorry, 4th person.
Could it, I wonder if
I'm assuming there's 2 more episodes.
Yeah,
I'd like that. I'm not in a rush for it to end. I'm not being disrespectful.
I'm having a great time.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this so much more than
I love
like
the discourse that it's come out to. Like I love that people are like getting to play along and talk about it. Like it's so much fun.
Thank goodness they didn't tell us. Because they did that to us during RuPaul's Celebrity Drag Race, like season 2. That one where they were performing and like that Backstreet Boy obviously won and blah blah blah. But like
Mhm.
once they revealed it to us halfway through, I stopped watching.
Well, that's I think they learned from season 1 because from my understanding, season 1, at least half of them we knew like at the premiere who they were related to. But
Yeah,
the fun of it
yeah.
has been trying to figure it out ourselves.
Right, right. That's why we're here. I want to play Guess Who as well.
Oh, I'm seeing something here.
What are you seeing? What's coming in? Doodle doo 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 doo. Breaking news.
So it looks like. Hold on. What's the date here? Okay. There's something here about there being like a change, like the possibly having the last 2 episodes of Claim to Fame on one night.
Oh, that's fun.
But I'm trying to make sure I'm reading this right. I'll try to confirm. I'll try to confirm in a moment. But it looks like
All
there
right.
are 2 episodes. But it's possible that something is bumping Claim of Fame, so that like the last 2 episodes would be on the 28th,
coming
Monday the 28th, not this coming Monday. Like, but I have to see. So I think it's something to do with a Bachelor type show. Let me just see if I can find out for sure.
Why are our favorite things always bumped by something inferior?
By something we don't care about as much.
Yes. So annoying. So annoying. So what else about these? I think that's really it as far as like really recapping like major events, right?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. Um I wanted to stall as John is looking this up, but I got nothing else. So
So what I'm
oh,
what
thank
I'm
God for
seeing
Adrian.
here-
Adrian's back.
Yeah, what I'm seeing here on the schedule is that episode 9 is Monday, August 28th at 8 p.m. and episode 10, the finale, is Monday, August 28th at 9 p.m. So 8 and
That's
'Interesting.
9.
awesome. A double
Okay.
header. So we'll have to see what we do about our stream. Will we be affected by this claim to fame change? How gung ho are we? Adrian adds that last season they brought the eliminated contestants back just to watch the top 3 play the truth or dare game. And before the final guess off, the contestants to possibly also help the final 2 for this.
That's fun.
Guess off.
GO.
Guess off.
Oh,
She
I
just said it.
I know. I was so proud of my nailing TD in the middle of it, right? Truth
Yeah,
or
yeah,
dare.
yeah.
But yeah, the GO stunts me.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the headline from the U.S. Sun.
Oh.
Oh my. Halfway
says-
official.
Apparently there has been an uproar. It says Claim to Fame fans furious over major schedule change and blame the Bachelorette finale for last minute shakeup. So the reason that we're not getting a Claim to Fame this Monday is because I guess the Bachelorette finale is on. So we're getting bumped to having
Okay.
our penultimate and ultimate episode of Claim to Fame on Monday the 28th.
Wow. Wow. Well, I was also miffed when Claim to Fame was pushed back.
To 10, yeah. Which was
Yeah,
also
like-
for The Bachelor, wasn't it?
Some version of it.
Yeah.
Some version of it.
Yeah.
Yikes. I'm sick of that. I don't even care about The Bachelor. Never cared about The Bachelor. I have minor interest in The Golden Bachelor only because Rachel Riley was like a casting director for it. So I think that's a little interesting.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I only knew that because she
Wow.
just kept posting about it. So like I'm a little intrigued only for that reason, but that I will still not watch. But if there was any version of it that I were to tune into, it'd be that.
Yeah.
But all right. So anything else for Claim to Fame?
I don't think so. I'm just excited to see how this wraps up.
Mm.
Oh, yes. We've actually,
Yeah.
Adrian, we've been talking about this recently.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Saying that if we have time for the rest of the year, we can do a watch of season 1. of
I
Claim to
definitely
Fame.
want to.
Yeah,
I really
definitely
want to,
interested.
yeah.
Definitely interested.
This is like a crazy busy time because of Big Brother and the Challenge USA, but like we already have spoken about how like once those shows end and there's probably going to be a little bit of a lull, like season 1 of Claim to Fame, like going back and catching up on that would be perfect. And we've all been loving this season, so I don't see why we wouldn't do it.
I would definitely just watch it, even if we weren't going to cover it. I would just watch it
I've
on
heard
my
great
own
things about it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like top tier entertainment. So
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So what else do we have coming up? Monday is stacked, right? Monday's pretty stacked.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Challenge USA.
Challenge USA at 9, right? That's what we're doing.
Yep.
And then Big Brother 25 at 10:30
Eastern time. Both of those.
Eastern. Yeah, there's going to be a lot to get into by then. As long as they stick to their usual schedule. Definitely getting into spoilers at that point. We usually do discuss who has won veto and how the ceremony went.
We already know the winner, but ceremony hasn't happened.
That's not always true.
No, I mean like right now we know the winner.
Oh, right now. Well, I'm like, what do you mean? Like usually we do get the ceremony on Monday afternoon. So we know who won veto. I don't know that because I've been very offline today.
I literally saw it as we were signing on for the stream on Twitter.
Excellent. We'll definitely talk about that as we end.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have validation here from Adrian that season 1 definitely does deliver. Yeah, we're here for it. That feels like a really great thing to do. Like once we get snowed in, right? Our first good snow in the winter. Like let's bang out a good claim to fame or something like that, and like put some chili in the crock pot, and like really settle it.
Totally.
Yeah.
I also, by the way, I still haven't even watched Thursday. Thursday's episode of the Challenge USA, but I did get spoiled on who goes home. So,
I got spoiled on it before I watched it.
I haven't watched it yet, but literally, like I think while we were streaming about Big Brother, I went on Twitter to see if anybody had like said the feeds to come back up and who the HOH was, and the first tweet that I saw was who went home.
I didn't.
Right, and that's kind of why I think it's also good for us to just watch it live, because I think that's going to end up happening to us every week.
Right.
Right.
I didn't even. I don't think I even got spoiled on Twitter. I think that I got spoiled because I followed the person that left on Instagram and saw their posts. Like it wasn't even like some random account, talking about it. So, but
yeah, that's what I mean. Like I think that's going to happen to us a lot. So we were discussing going live now on Thursdays at 11:15. That all
I'm here
suits
for
nice.
it. Honestly, I'm here for it. Like we said,
yeah,
we'll probably be talking for another hour and a half after we get off of here anyway, and then it'll be like we started at 11:15, podcasted for an hour. So why not?
Be fine anyway. And I think next week is a really fun time to kind of kick that off because, like, we are having our first big endurance comp
freaking
season,
ready for the pressure cooker
with the return of pressure cooker. So like we're obviously not going to stay up all night with it, but like we'll certainly be starting the stream at 11:15.
I mean, to be fair,
for a while. So grab your drinks, grab your everything.
To be fair, I don't see this cast doing no 14-hour pressure cooker, but
yeah, it's definitely going to go long enough that we won't probably have a winner while we're podcasting. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to like talking about the episode while the competition is going on, and like we can hopefully watch it, because I remember past streams where we had the live feeds on to see the HOH comp, and like those were shorter, so we were able to see who won. And yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, so that'll be Thursday. So that's kind of how the week looks. When does your podcast with James start? With the Star Wars Ahsoka.
yeah. Star Wars Ahsoka starts actually now this coming Tuesday. The show was originally coming out on Wednesday the 23rd, and it looked like episodes were going to be out every Wednesday, so we would be podcasting directly after it. But it looks like now they've shifted to Tuesdays. So
ooh, that's nice. You got a whole 24 hours to get your life in order.
We might shift to Tuesday podcasts, which then potentially opens up the possibility of, if anything crazy is going on and we want to do like an emergency Wednesday Big Brother podcast here and there after that episode, if it just happens to be a particularly crazy week or something, that possibility could potentially be there. So
yeah, we had to have an emergency space, an emergency live.
I'm now like signing myself up to potentially podcast 4 nights in a row. Oh, I'm
And you're
so
so
pumped. Yeah.
excited. You've got your pink hat.
It's
You're
all.
ready to
Hey,
go.
listen.
You're
Honestly, though,
ready to
it's all my
go.
favorite stuff. Big Brother, The Challenge, Star Wars. Hell yeah, I'll talk about that with anybody all night long.
I love it. Where can people find there's
Oh
another
no.
you know, there's always spiders around here. Yeah, but he's moving real slow. He's gone. It's over. This
Do you
is
know
not like
there
that
was
other
one
night.
night? There was one night where I was sitting here. We were podcasting, and I saw a spider crawling across the floor, and I didn't get up to do anything. I just
It's
watched
horrible.
it just crawl into the darkness and go somewhere.
Absolutely not. Burn the whole house down.
Nope. Exactly. I could never go to
Yeah.
sleep. What are you talking about? Like,
Well, I was
sorry,
like,
unacceptable. Where can our friends find your Star Wars
oh, so
conversations?
on YouTube at JLJ Media, Mr. James Lott Jr.'s channel on YouTube. He has a lot of different
The
podcasts. Yeah,
famous,
on his
the
network.
one and only.
And we've been doing all the Star
Yeah.
Wars stuff. And you guys know I love talking about Star Wars because I'm such a big nerd, and I don't have tons of people to talk about it with, as based on your pronunciation of the show, Asaroka.
Asaroka. That's
So
so
it's fun.
funny.
Asarokas.
It's definitely fun, especially because for that one, like I literally can just watch the show up and talk about it. I feel like we all put a lot of work into, into this podcast. So it's fun to be able to just show up and talk about Star Wars and really just be able to just sit there and talk about it, like feeling like I'm talking about it
No,
with
I love
friends.
it.
And yeah,
No, it's great. Like we don't.
So.
I don't know why we don't tell people like when we're doing other things. Like
Yeah,
that's fun and exciting. People can catch
Yeah.
John live all the time. It's very fun. It's very fun.
Yeah.
But if you want to see more of John here, you can find us on Strat Chat Pod. That's our handle everywhere. Find us on the TikTok. You know,
I'm having a lot of fun on TikTok.
yeah. Listen. Every time I open it, there's always just somebody talking at me. Like I feel like it's a very noisy app. Like I feel like this, you should be able to hit mute until you're done looking around and stuff. It's just always talking at you, and it's just like very overwhelming. I'm definitely, you can tell I'm pushing 40.
But no,
But
you gotta come onto ours. I've been making a lot of new friends on our podcast TikTok. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I see there's a lot of notifications going off lately. I'm like,
I'm
this
talking
is
to a
really,
lot
this
of
is really
people.
too much. This is really too much.
TikTok, yeah,
But,
TikTok is fun. It also is crazy. You can go from like music videos to somebody cooking, and then like one of the strangest things you've ever seen that for some reason has like 3 million likes, and
I
like
love TikTok.
it's just
it's my favorite
it's an
social media.
oh my.
It's an interesting place.
I like quieter apps. You can find me on Twitter/X for the time being. It's
I
my
hate
favorite
it.
still, though. I know
No,
I
I
hate
hate
it, but
it
it's still
so
my favorite.
much.
I'm like, where else am I
Oh.
supposed to go?
I
Like,
understand.
I'm trying to get to blue sky. I'm trying. Like,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
are our blue sky people? Okay.
It's still, unfortunately, it's still the best platform for a lot of this stuff that we're doing. So
I
like,
know.
I get it,
Sorry.
but like
I
it's
only
actually
like
really
BB Twitter. I don't like regular Twitter.
right. It's just funny to me too, though, because like Elon Musk has tried to do this whole rebranding thing, and like I still see people being like, "Oh yeah, this person's going to be joining my Twitter space." It's like, why did you change the name, dude? Like, just leave it alone.
Nobody
You're just
cares.
confusing everyone.
Nobody cares. Wait, how did these come out? These look cute, right?
They look
worked
great.
out, the
Cute.
podcast colors. Yeah. Thanks, John. Thanks, John.
Of course.
No. All right. That's all we have. So I guess goodbye, right? We'll see you Monday. Stupid. See you Monday at 9 for the challenge. Thanks for hanging out, Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really like integral to the stream tonight. Like we really got
Yeah, very
Yeah,
helpful.
Adrian's been very helpful.
Right. So yeah, thank you. And with that, we bid you adieu.